Hi guys, Emma here, and today I'm going to be talking more about the TV show Dark, which I've just finished on Netflix. I said I wouldn't binge watch it, but I guess I have. I couldn't stop once I'd started though, and it is a show that makes you want to see what happens in the next episode. It leaves you on like a cliffhanger and you just want to know what happens next. So where do I start with this? I really liked it. It's a show that I think will stay with me for a long time, and I'm definitely looking forward to a potential season 2. It did seem to accelerate as it went on, so I think the early episodes were quite quiet compared to the latter episodes, and especially after episode 5 I think it really took a massive leap in terms of storytelling and pace and everything. I'm almost asking myself whether they have done too much in this one season, because it felt like almost like the content and the storyline felt like something that would normally be done over 3 or 4 seasons, and it was all packed into this one 10-episode series. So I did find myself questioning that, whether they've just done too much. It was exciting. It was difficult to follow at times though, I think, and that's part of the problem there. So many characters to follow over the different timelines. If we'd spent a bit more time with each character, I think it might have been easier to recognize them, to remember them, to know who they are in each separate timeline. And of course at the end of the series we saw yet another time period, which I guess is 33 years into the future. So I really want to talk about some of the characters and some of the storylines in the season, and in particular Ulrich. I feel like he is the star of the show, like the main character, even though it is clearly an ensemble piece. I don't think Ulrich is an easy character to like and to support, especially with his early behaviours in regards to his affair with Hannah. Later on, I was so shocked when he tried to kill Helge. Now, I guess we've all had the conversation, and I've seen it played out on TV shows and movies a million times. Like, the question is, if you could go back in time, would you kill Hitler? That is a question that I think everybody asks at like dinner parties and stuff like that, you know? And a lot of people say, yeah, I definitely would. And then the question is rephrased as, what if he was a kid? Would you kill Hitler if he was a kid? And the answers seem to change. It was a very shocking thing to see Ulrich hurt this little boy like that, and an unexpected thing because of Ulrich being such a lead character. You wouldn't expect a lead character to take a choice like that, which potentially could alienate them for many viewers. What does it say about Ulrich that he could hurt a child? Or is he justified because of the fact that his brother and his son, he thinks, would be saved if he killed this boy? Is he justified? It's a difficult thing to weigh up, I think. Certainly, I think if you look back at who Ulrich was when he was younger, he was very confrontational with people. He was almost like a little bit of a psychopath, I think. I don't know what was wrong with him. At one point, him and Katerina, they seemed like they might have been sort of a Bonnie and Clyde type who liked to mess around with people and hurt people, and he just seemed like a very angry guy. But the fact that he became a cop suggests that he became a better person, so that was still a little shocking for me to see him hurt Helge. At the end of the day, it didn't change anything. This leads me to wonder if anything could actually be changed, and whether these people are just stuck in an endless loop, like hamsters going around in a wheel thinking they're getting somewhere when they're getting nowhere. And if that's the case, then it's harder to get involved in the story of these people thinking that they can change things in time when we know that they can't. I felt really sorry for Jonas. Well, he said that he thought he was the only wrong thing in the timeline, how the timeline had panned out, and he was the wrong thing. If he wasn't existing, then everything could go back to normal for everybody else. And I think that the moment of self-sacrifice when he went back to save Mikkel was quite sad, and it sort of made me feel for the character a lot more. But how could that timeline ever be put right if Jonas is still wandering around saying that things can be put right? How can it ever be put right if Jonas exists. You know, it's just an impossibility. I'm confused about Noah. Is Noah and Bartosz the same person? They kind of seem very similar. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe I've missed something, or I don't know if that was explained, but they seem like the same person. I don't think that was relayed to Bartosz, if that was the case. But Bartosz took a really abrupt turn, I think, in terms of his character when he found out that Jonas was interested in, well, his own aunt basically, but his girlfriend, and that was surprising to see him turn on his friend so quickly. I felt really sorry for Katerina and the situation with Hannah. Hannah, she is crazy. What she's doing to Ulrich, what she's doing to Katerina and all the kids. It's just horrible. It's horrible. She comes across as someone who needs psychiatric help to me. I don't know if everything stems from her obsession with Ulrich or whether she actually wants to destroy him now. It's kind of, she loves him and hates him at the same time. I think she maybe hates him because he makes her feel this mad. He makes her feel this obsessed, makes her feel like she's not in control of herself. One thing I didn't understand was when Jonas went and took the mechanism back to the clockmaker guy, I can't remember his name, but when he took that back and he was like, can you fix this? And the guy said, I couldn't have fixed my own device unless I had your device from the future, which is a paradox. And I can't wrap my head around that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think there are a lot of concepts in this that maybe if you're not very clever like me, then they might go right over your head. But I think also there is a possibility that if you want to like really study it and explore the theories that they are trying to get across, then there's a possibility to do that. I really like the basic idea of all these theories about time travel that they are putting across. I think it has an originality to it that I've never seen in other shows and other movies. I really just generally like this show. I love the atmosphere of this show. It's very, very dark, living up to its name, but the soundtrack is really good. The music that they use from outside sources is very apt. Their own score is very good as well, and they use it to great effect, highlighting very dramatic moments with these deep bass sounds that go right through your body. I think the moment that I remember the most is Ulrich battering the boy with the rock, because it was quite hideous and shocking. And another thing I think is that there has to be more emphasis on characters like loving each other and needing each other for this to mean anything ultimately. Of course, Ulrich and Katerina, they are driven by this love for Mikkel, and Ulrich for Mads as well as Mikkel, but as far as I can see, that's gone. Mikkel's gone. He's never coming back. So for the story to progress, I think, and mean something emotionally to me, to everybody else, I think we have to see more instances of them needing each other and loving each other. And to me, Ulrich and Katerina, I think they belong together. I think that they just seem like a completely natural pair. I would love to see them reunite. For all this to mean something, for all the trauma and deaths and murders and violence to mean something, it has to go back to the heart of these are people, these are human beings, and they feel something, and they want to achieve something. They want to feel safe, feel loved, feel like what they're doing is worthwhile. At the moment I felt like it was almost hopeless in a way, because nothing could be changed. I thought it was really sad, ridiculous moment, but when the dog came through, Gretchen, the little dog came running through, and oh god. I actually think that the series could probably do with a rewatch, just for me, just for getting everything straight, because I feel like I've perhaps missed some things because of the pace was going so quickly, and there was, as I said, there were so many characters to keep up with that it's just really difficult to remember everybody. I think it's easier to remember everybody from the 2019 timeline, and then when we go back it's a little bit more difficult. I also think there's a bit of a weird thing where I feel differently about characters in different timelines even though they're the same person. So I don't know if that's something that you're meant to feel as a viewer, or whether this is because of my disorientation. But I really liked the series as a whole, and I would definitely watch out for a season 2. The next thing I'm going to be watching is Glitch season 2. I did a review of that last year. I think it's an Australian show. It's very good. It's a little bit quirky, like it has Australian humour in it, but it's also very dark. It's about people coming back from the dead basically, and how that plays out. It's a bit like The Return, but it's not as dark as that. I'll probably watch that and do a review on that as well. I'm also going to be looking at the Twin Peaks extras, but I know that some people haven't got their copies of the Blu-ray or the DVD yet, so I'm going to wait a while just in case anybody feels like I'm maybe spoiling it. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a nice day wherever you are, and goodbye.